The Power Rangers are now in Fortnite, and after that amazing season trailer, I gotta say, this may be one of the coolest collabs they've ever done. Not only is the green/white ranger in the battle pass, but so is the Dino Megazord, and on the second day of the season they added the remaining core members of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger team to the item shop. So in just 2 days, you've got 7 different skins representing Power Rangers in Fortnite, 8 if you want to count the Green Ranger and White Ranger separately. But here's the thing about that. Each of these big collabs for the game usually comes with a Phase 2, in which we get even more skins added. And we already know what the big power-up for this season is. You're going to be able to pilot the Dino Megazord. So all that's left to question now is, what other skins are going to be joining the game when that time comes? And that's what we're talking about today. I've come up with 10 different Power Ranger skins that I would like to see added to the game, whether or not they have any realistic chance of showing up. Now before we start, I do want to point out that leakers did find a boon in the files named after Rita Repulsa, so if we do get any more skins this season, one of them will probably be her. However, personally, I am much more interested in seeing her husband added to the game. That's right, I'm talking about the evil Lord Zed. This guy is still one of the coolest looking villains in the entire franchise in my opinion, and I just feel like a cosmetic set for him would be very easy. I mean, his pickaxe would just be the staff that he carries with him all over the place. And his glider could be Serpentera, which until recently was the biggest Zord ever created. But every good main antagonist has lackeys to push around and do their dirty work for them, so naturally I would love to see Goldar join Fortnite as well. Goldar seems like another easy set to do. He uses a sword when he fights, so there's your pickaxe right there. And his wings would be a back bling, that way you could take them off whenever you wanted because he appeared in the show both with and without the wings. But Goldar was not the only recurring minion that Rita and Zed would deploy. They also had Scorpina, who was one of the few female members of their army. Like Goldar, she wields a blade, so there's another easy pickaxe, but she also has a transformation into a monster form that you could make into an alternate style for her. She and Goldar stuck around long enough in the show that I think they deserve at least consideration for being turned into Fortnite skins. Now I want to move on from the classic villains from the old TV show to a more recent villain introduced in the comics and video games. This is Lord Draken. Draken is an evil version of Tommy Oliver, which is a big part of his story as a character because when he looked across the Power Rangers multiverse, he discovered that out of all of the Tommy Oliver incarnations, he was the only one that was evil. And in the fighting game Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, he uses both Saba, his White Ranger sword, and the Green Ranger Dragon Dagger at the same time, so that would be a pretty unique pickaxe for him. But you can't have Lord Draken without his most faithful servant, a brainwashed incarnation of the Pink Ranger known as the Ranger Slayer. You gotta love an edgy name like that. I don't know what you could really do different with this one aside of just the skin looking different because it's just an evil Pink Ranger and the standard Pink Ranger is already in the game. I mean, I figure they would probably just make this a standalone skin and pair it with Draken as a bundle, but I think most people would prefer it to just be an alternate style for the standard Pink Ranger. Now let's not forget the secret skin this season is the Dino Megazord, so what are the chances that we may see a different Zord show up in the item shop? Godzilla brought with him Kong and Mechagodzilla, and as far as I'm concerned, if you can add Mechagodzilla into this game, you could give us the Dragon Zord. I still think the Dragon Zord is one of the best Zords ever, and I would absolutely love to see it in the game, but if they can't give us the standard Dragon Zord, at least maybe there's a chance that the alternate style for the Dino Megazord in the Battle Pass could be Dragon Zord Fighter Mode. I mean, that version of the Dragon Zord is already 60% recycled from the Dino Megazord. All you gotta do is change out its torso and head and boom, perfect alternate version. Now there was one other Zord that made it into the game besides the Dino Megazord as a glider in the Battle Pass, the White Tiger Zord. It's actually a really good glider and it's animated the exact same way that the old Tiger Zord puppet looked in the original show. But the Tiger Zord did have its own battle mode as well, just by transforming itself, and I think that Zord's look would actually make for a really good Fortnite skin. So we've talked about villains and Zords, but what about the possibility of other Rangers from beyond Mighty Morphin showing up? The most logical next step, of course, would be Power Rangers Zeo, which was the direct follow-up to Mighty Morphin. And personally, my favorite Zeo Ranger was the 6th Ranger of that season, the Gold Zeo Ranger. Of course, this Ranger was not originally even from the planet Earth, but he had to give up his powers temporarily to the original Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger just until he could get his powers back in line. His staff would make for a unique pickaxe though, you gotta admit that. Although I don't really care much for his Zord Pyramidas, even though it was supposed to be really powerful. Still, when I was a kid, there were 2 different Halloweens where I was dressed as a Power Ranger. The first one was the Red Mighty Morphin Ranger, and the second one, Gold Zeo Ranger. So if one is already in the game, I would really like to see the other one added. And speaking of the Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, there's actually a skin variant I would like to see added to him, as well as a variant for the Green Ranger, and just by saying that, you may know where I'm headed with this. There were times in the show where the Green Ranger would temporarily give his dragon shield that he was wearing and some of his powers to other Rangers, specifically the Red and Black Rangers. And when he began to lose his powers for good, he gave those powers permanently to the Red Ranger so that he could summon the Dragon Dagger, Dragon Shield, and Dragon Zord whenever he wanted. Now, like Lord Draken wielding both Saba and the Dragon Dagger, having a version of the Red Ranger use a pickaxe that utilizes both the Red Ranger Power Sword and the Dragon Dagger would be just as cool. Although I gotta say, if they were to do this, I wish they would just be alternate styles of the skins already in the game. I wouldn't want to see this as its own separate bundle. For the players who already own the Red Ranger and his Power Sword, and the Green Ranger and his Dragon Dagger, just give those players this new style for free. Trust me, Epic, people like free stuff, especially when there's a storyline reason for them to have it. Now, there is one last Power Ranger skin I would like to see added to the game, but there's a big problem with it. It's actually not from any Power Rangers franchise. In the special episode Forever Red, a villain shows up looking for revenge on behalf of the Machine Empire. His name is General Venjix, and he looks like this. If you're a big bad Beetleborgs fan, then he might look a little familiar. This costume actually comes from Joku Beetle Fighter for the character Black Beat. Or if you're not Japanese, you'll remember him as the Shadowborg in Big Bad Beetleborgs, which was also produced by Saban. This was most likely done just to save money, but I like to think of it as a tribute to the Beetleborgs as well, because not only is Venjix a Beetleborg, but the other members of his team also are from the Beetleborg series, including some of the weapons they used. Now, I don't care about Venjix much as a character. He showed up for one episode, stole Serpentera, and was destroyed immediately. But if Epic ever decides that they want to pull from some more obscure shows from the past, maybe look into the Beetleborgs franchise and give us a Shadowborg skin. That way he can represent both the Beetleborgs franchise and Power Rangers as a substitute for Venjix. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be seeing a Big Bad Beetleborgs collab for Fortnite anytime soon. I think we probably have a much better chance of actually seeing them make a Pudgy Pig skin before we'd ever get the Shadowborg. Well, there you go. Those are my 10 Power Rangers and Power Rangers adjacent skins I would like to see added to the game. What do you guys think? Are there any other characters from the Power Rangers lore that you would like to see added into this game? Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, I'm going to go find out who I need to convince to get some Beetleborg skins put into Fortnite, because you and I both know that you want a Flabber skin. Don't even act like you don't.